All right, another episode of Twins Debate coming up on this show. Of course, we're just going to debate the different topics of me and Darren, just lashing out our opinions and thoughts on the latest headlines of the debates. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. That's coming up next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Another edition of Twins Debate. Welcome to this portion of the episode. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Darren. Say hello to Darren watching the opposite side.
Yep, I'm here. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. How you feeling so far, Darren? You good?
Always.
All right. We're glad to bring back another edition of Twins Debate. So you ready to rock this one?
Always.
All right. We got work to do. Let's do this, pimp.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
Yep. All right, taking a look at the latest headline discussions. There's a couple of, actually, it's a few things to discuss on the latest headlines since the NBA season is now been officially finally over. The NFL is getting into the heights of the season. Let's start with there's actually no Major League Baseball news other than scores and stats and stuff, but mainly particularly covering the NFL and the NBA. Let's start with the NFL. Andy Reid extension. He received a contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they also part ways with their general manager, John Dorsey. What do you believe will happen from this point on with John Dorsey parting ways and Andy Reid getting his contract extension? Of course, Chris Ballard had left Kansas City to go to the Indianapolis Colts and take over the general manager position over with the Colts. What's happening with Kansas City? Are they doing a rebuild in the front office? What do you think is going on this behalf with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I'll say this. If people say what they say it is, to the fact that was a big mistake for John Dorsey to split ways with the Kansas City Chiefs, then it might overall become a disaster. But I don't think it'll be that much of a big issue, just because they already built their talent for the Chiefs. You know, the on-field players actually have their talent. You know, Alex Smith, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and a couple of defensive guys. I forgot their names. But they have that already set. Yeah, him. And, Eric Berry and all them. Mm-hmm. So that to me now, if they could be rebuilding in the half of the front office, it really shouldn't affect anything unless let's just say hypothetically, if they decide that they actually do bring in a new GM and he actually get rid of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Eric Berry, and all of them, yeah, they're headed for disaster. But right now, I think that the Chiefs should be okay. And if they choose to rebuild in the front office, it shouldn't. Hopefully, it shouldn't actually affect anything in that aspect. So, giving Andy Reid that contract extension, he's a pretty good coach. So I can't really say it's a good move or a bad move either, because he's a good coach. He's done too much for that organization already. And you see what he did in Philadelphia when he was coaching for them. You know, I don't see the problem.
I would like to actually see Andy Reid actually become his own GM. I've been a big fan of head coaches being their own GMs, even with the NBA with Greg Popovich. That you see the success on that behalf. I just like that. If I'm an NBA or an NFL owner, I would love to see that head coach actually take it on hands-on and actually get the players that he wants to be able to build within in his own system, because he is the only one that's going to understand that system well versus the GM. To me, I believe that Andy Reid would be a very good GM because he can find the players that he wants for his system, for his playbook. So if they are rebuilding the front office, the one thing to do is to get rid of the GM, and I believe that Andy Reid could take on that position. I would love to see that happen. Being honest, if Bill Parcells would have been able to be his own GM, I think he would have been a lot further than what the Dallas Cowboys had been and the New York Giants back in his days. I believe that he would have been a lot more better head coach and a GM versus somebody being that GM in Bill Parcells' place. I think Bill Parcells would have been a lot better coach. That's just me personally, but Andy Reid getting his contract extension is a very good thing. Kansas City is on to good things, but I would just love to see Andy Reid, his extension be worth actually going into the GM position to drag his own players, to get his own players, fit them into his own system, and actually see Kansas City win a Super Bowl. That right there, I would love to see that happen. I believe it can happen. If they do that, that's the last piece to the Kansas City Chiefs puzzle of a championship run. It's just me.
They don't find a GM. Andy Reid candidate?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. They
I'm
have
with
it.
you.
They have it. Andy Reid. Devonta Freeman says he would have been Super Bowl MVP if the Falcons would have kept him in the game. Taking a look at his stats. In the rushing game, 11 attempts, 75 yards, 6.8 averaging on those attempts and yards, and 1 touchdown. And the receiving end of his game, 2 receptions, 46 yards, 23 averaging in yards, and no touchdowns. Do you believe this to be true? All right. Daryl, do you believe that this statement that Devonta Freeman said is true?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because even though that Devonta Freeman only had 1 touchdown, and I think that was in the first quarter, I believe it was.
Maybe.
He, to me, reminded me of the 2009 Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints, where Peyton Manning was so patient that he gave the ball to Joseph Addai and started running all over their defense. I believe this would have been no different. Now, there was could have been a lot of speculation that they probably wanted Matt Ryan as MVP and stuff like that. All I could have felt was dump the ball to Devonta Freeman. Let him take care of the rest. I believe that running the football or throwing the football to him, they would have had a legitimate shot. If they kept him involved, they would have actually won that Super Bowl. They already dominated the game 28-3 at halftime. And in the second half, he disappeared. So I believe that he could have been that X factor. I believe that he probably would have, if anything, taking away the touchdowns. If they would have not gotten touchdowns in that game, I believe Devonta Freeman could have put them in field goal range to put more points on the board. That's just me. I may be overreacting to the whole thing, but eliminating him in the second half just really, really put New England on the better strategy side of shutting him down. Whereas the first half, they didn't have an answer for him. And if they would have kept him involved in the second half, they still wouldn't have been able to stop him. That's just me.
I disagree. He would have not have been Super Bowl MVP, and here's the reason why. just like how New England actually did come back, they would have came back with him in the game. New England's going to find a million ways to cheat to be able to get themselves on that board to come back and win that game. The only difference was that Devonta Freeman was not on the field. That was the only difference. I cannot take anything granted for New England. I cannot do that because New England have done so much in their past years in the championship runs to be able to cheat and get what they need in order to win. Devonta Freeman would not have been MVP had he been in the game, and the game outcome would not have changed. The way that it happened February 5th, 2017 would have happened the exact same way Devonta Freeman was on the field. The problem is that defense of Atlanta had to have stepped up in order for New England not to score. Devonta Freeman could have been in the game that entire time. It's the matter of the defense of being able to stop New England from scoring. That was the only thing they had to do. Stop them from scoring and Atlanta to run the ball out. That's all they had to do. But they didn't do neither one of them. So I cannot see Devonta Freeman actually being MVP all because of him being on that football field. Now, they may have dominated in the first half. That was because New England didn't have nothing to cheat with. Now that the second half came in, they got desperate. They needed to cheat. So that's what they did. We don't know what. I already know they have. I just can't prove it.
Well, I mean, you looking back on the several occasions that New England tried, and, they had tried on one, but two different occasions. And it was against the same team, and they failed both times. And I believe that could have been no different with Atlanta, especially with a dominating lead like that. And then against those two games against New York Giants in both Super Bowls, they didn't even have much of a lead. And if they did, it was a close game. Atlanta straight up dominated them. And like you said, yes, they cheated. They found a way to cheat. Yes, they did. But you also brought up a point when you say that Atlanta's defense has slacked off. That they did do. They slacked off. And the problem was when they did slack off, that's when New England started scoring. And the New England's defense started coming to play. And that's when Devonta Freeman got shut down. Had Atlanta's defense hold it together like they did in the first half and only limited them to 3 points, I still think Devonta Freeman would have been MVP.
No, because the whole thing of it was, even if Atlanta did went on to go and win that game, his stats wasn't good enough for him to even be a part of a MVP caliber anyway. They would have had Matt Ryan have been MVP anyway.
Well, they still picked the wrong candidate for the MVP anyway, Tom Brady.
Of course. Oh, we know this. I already know.
So what would have been wrong if Devonta Freeman was MVP?
I'm not saying nothing was wrong with it. It's just that his stats wasn't good enough for it.
Tom Brady's wasn't either.
His stats wasn't good enough. Nobody's stats was good in that entire game. Name anybody's stats that were good in that game.
It wasn't. But evidently somebody had to be Super Bowl MVP.
Exactly. So they just picked Tom Brady because he's supposed to be the GOAT.
Of course.
I'm not. It's just like they don't even need to have this. In my personal opinion, you already got the Super Bowl on the line. Why have an MVP behind this? Is what I don't understand. Well, NBA, NFL, I don't get that. I do not get that.
Well, they have the fans pick who wins MVP, Super Bowl, or NBA Finals.
Oh, well, the front office get to pick who wins the Super Bowl. So I guess we're both on the even end, are we?
NFL fans suck this time, don't they?
Yeah, I would assume so.
I don't know. I mean, not being funny. Something just really didn't fit with that game. You would have thought everything was all good. What they're saying that they say, it's too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that showed, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And we was actually playing the game that day, and we kept track by.
I did by play-by-play.
I did it by also play-by-play on NFL.com on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you seen that Atlanta kept putting the football, Matt Ryan kept throwing the football, New England kept scoring, you knew that was going down badly,
mm-hmm.
disgustingly.
Yep.
You know, and it's like you said, something had to happen. Rather if it was cheating, rather if they pumped some illegal juice in them to bring them back into the game, or rather they spiked Atlanta's water thing or whatever. Something had to happen for New England to actually win that Super Bowl. And why take Devontae Freeman out of the game anyway?
Matt Ryan. I understand it. Matt Ryan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You take Devontae Freeman out of the game, and the coach did the same thing with Joseph Adai.
They want to pay Manning.
If it wasn't broke, don't fix it. Why are you doing something stupid? That's just my whole ordeal. Why do something stupid?
Why the fools fall in love? Whole point of it being, there's no answers. There's no answers.
It's a flaw somewhere. It's a flaw.
And it's a flaw when fools don't fall in love.
Well, that's not scripted. That's not scripted.
For a person that's actually trying to fall in love with somebody, it is scripted. For that person in particularly.
Well,
they have a plan. It's a plan of attack.
If it's on worldwide TV, then yes, scripted. But if it's behind the scene personal life, nah, that ain't scripted.
Yes, it is. If it's scripted for somebody to actually make a plan to go out and do something stupid, it don't have to be shown on national TV for it not to be scripted. It's scripted.
Nobody would know about it, but the person that's experiencing it. Nobody wouldn't know about it.
It will come out to be later, most likely as a testimony at some point in life.
Yeah, do yourself a favor.
Devonta Freeman, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the whole Magic Johnson greatness written all over Alonzo Ball's statement, let's take a look at some brief statistics from Alonzo Ball for those of you that don't know anything about him. Averages 14.6 points a game, 7.6 assists a game, 41% three-point shooting, and 55% shooting. And in the conferences per games, 15.7 points a game, 7.4 assists per game, 57% field goal shooting, and 42% three-point shooting. Sorry, my chair went down on me. There we go. All right. Alonzo Ball recreating, and the Los Angeles Lakers recreating Showtime and Magic Johnson saying the greatness belonged to Alonzo Ball, just has it written all over him. Gerald, is this true or not?
No.
Agreed.
Okay. Here's my thing.
Let me just say this.
Okay, go ahead.
His daddy getting on my nerve.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something about that before I actually get into my thought. I don't know if you've seen it or not on Facebook, but Lance put something out on Facebook in his group talking about LeVar Ball becoming the next Kardashian. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
That right there put tears to my eyes, not in an emotional state, but damn near die laughing because he busted out. Mm-hmm. He told the truth. Because
he is driving me crazy.
His mouth would never stop.
No. He's making him look bad.
He is. And I'm going to tell you, for as many times for an average person I want to say about 15 people to be sitting on the toilet because they have diarrhea, he would still keep talking. Mm-hmm. He would still keep talking. That's how annoying it could get. You can have that many problems in a day, sitting on that toilet all day, but you still keep running your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
You need to stop. You need to stop.
Let your son play ball, and you just need to stop talking, period. Just stop talking. You talking enough is enough to last for his entire career. You not talking at all, I will not miss it.
I won't miss it either.
I won't miss it.
You're not.
It hasn't even started. And he's talking.
You know what makes it so bad? He used to ball. He used to play basketball.
Where's you at? And why
Where's
are you
your
talking?
stats? You know, where's your stats? Talking about you can beat some Michael Jordan. Man, spare me. Michael Jordan be 90 years old and still hoop on y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it, man.
He is driving me
He's driving
crazy.
me crazy.
If I could find a way to wire his mouth shut, I would be the first guy to do it on a sworn Bible.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because it makes me think of Steve Harvey. It makes me think of Steve Harvey when he says this. When parents are always bragging about their kids. Yeah, that might be. But what you need to do, you need to put your little 4-year-old around some other 4-year-olds. You might just find out that your little boy is retarded. Stop talking. You talk so much. He talks so much about him. He probably gonna ruin his career before he even step on the NBA court.
Even before they step on party for training camp. And they already, and you know what? And the bad part was the Lakers was not that much impressed with him doing his workouts.
According to your idol, Magic Johnson thinks
differently. But they had 2 days worth of workouts with him.
I'm not impressed.
I wasn't impressed.
I'm not impressed.
I didn't even get to watch it. I still wasn't impressed.
I don't need to watch it. I sat there and watched some highlights of his from college.
From college.
And high school basketball games. And I'm sitting here thinking, he can be humble, but his daddy is making him look bad.
Yes, he's making him look real bad. And now, don't get me wrong. Now, even though that Magic Johnson's going to take him under his wing, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Very possible because Magic Johnson is one of the best that ever played the game. Mm-hmm. But like we've been talking about, the major problem is going to be that bald-headed LaVar Ball.
Yeah.
LaVar Ball.
Yeah.
He is going to make that boy look real bad. Don't get me wrong. Alonzo Ball is 6'7", and he weighs 190 pounds. And he's a point guard. That, to me, 6'7", 190 pounds, for you to be a point guard and Magic Johnson taking you under your wing, I don't think it's going to create another brand new Showtime, but I believe that it would cause a problem trying to recreate Showtime.
Will it help with a championship? Yes.
No.
I agree. I agree.
It will not.
Pointless.
By the time Alonzo Ball probably gets in his 3rd or 4th year, the Lakers will still be struggling to get to the NBA Finals, not if they get into the playoffs. That's just me personally. But I cannot see that Alonzo Ball carrying this team to either the playoffs or NBA Finals. I just can't see it.
I definitely don't see it happening this season. I don't see it happening next season. I don't see it happening probably within the first 4 years of him being with the Lakers if he lasts that long without injuries. Because that's a whole different level from the college league up into the NBA. This is a whole different league. That's not exactly the same league. I'm telling you, it's going to be a whole lot. It's going to be a whole lot that he's going to have to get adjusted to.
Whose dad was it? It was a college basketball player's dad that talked about Alonzo Ball shutting him down. I can't remember his name.
I have no
idea.
I
know people that's watching, they know exactly who I'm talking about. When they was playing college, his son shut down Alonzo Ball. And his message to his Alonzo Ball's dad was, be careful what you say. Keep your mouth shut. I can't remember his name. God, if I only knew his name. So you think you're going to get yourself into a professional level and actually think that you could go to dominate this game? You better be careful. Just because you think you're 6'7", you got people that's taller than you, pimp. The only problem is that you're probably going to be the tallest person next to a shooting guard in an opposing team. You better be careful. That's just me personally. You are really heading yourself towards disaster if you don't set your daddy straight.
I'm trying
to
find
it down.
Talking about, is it De'Aaron Fox?
Bam! Bingo! And he just got drafted too, so he better be careful. He better be careful.
This was UCLA Sweet 16 loss to Kentucky. Darren Fox had 39 points, 4 assists, 1 turnovers, and Alonzo Ball. Not Alonzo. I keep pronouncing his name wrong.
Well, Lonzo. It's still Alonzo. That's his real name.
Okay. His final statistic line was 10 points, 8 assists, 4 turnovers.
Whoops. You better be careful. And you know LeVar Ball's not going to bring it up. He's not going to bring it up because that's one of the bad traits about his son that he don't want to exploit.
Where did Darren Fox go to? Do you know where he went to? Matter of fact, maybe.
Yes, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
So do I. Now that I think about it,
the second round.
No, I don't. I don't have it.
I think it was in the first round. I think it was pick number 8. Nope, number 5. He went to Sacramento. He got drafted to Sacramento.
Ooh, okay.
And he's the point guard also. He's 6'5". But I don't understand how Lonzo Ball got the higher pick from Darren Fox. That don't make sense to me. But that's
remember the Lakers wasn't impressed with him, but Magic Johnson was.
Number 2.
That was the only reason why he got the number 2 pick.
Yeah, that's true too.
That was the only reason why he got it.
That's true. And keep this. I'm going to be watching. They're both in the California division, Sacramento and LA. They're going to be playing a lot of each other this upcoming season. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be watching out for that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be watching out for that.
Absolutely.
Talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
Talk too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alonzo Ball and the Los Angeles Lakers. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin opted out of their contracts, and they will become free agents. What will happen on the behalf of Chris Paul and Blake Griffin? Will they split? Will they be together with their new prospective teams if any teams will pick them up? Well, we'll find out our feelings. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Darren?
This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
You think they're going to end up being together with a whole new team?
I doubt it. It's a possibility, but I don't think so. San Antonio wants Chris Paul so badly, they don't even want Blake Griffin. He's just out of the picture. But if they do happen to, Chris Paul will have to do some high
convincing.
Well, you put it in the professional aspect.
You putting it here. I'll help you out there. Ass kissing.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to have to do. He's going to have to do a lot of that just to get Blake Griffin to the Lakers also.
Yeah.
Well, because I think they're trying to trade Danny Green, and I think LaMarcus Aldridge, rumor that he wants out. And I also think that Pau Gasol, I think they're trying to trade him too. From what I understand.
Mistake. But of course, it's Pops. He knows what he's doing. He didn't win 5 championship rings just standing there looking cute.
No, he did it just because he's old and he's experienced. He has that basketball wisdom. Has he ever played basketball?
I believe he has. I think I read it. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. So I thought I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Okay. I think he played basketball, and I looked him up, and I had forgotten about it, and I don't even remember.
I did too, because I wanted to know, because he's so daggone good. I'm trying to figure out what the best profession that he has in his position for him to be that good. Because the point guards are good, shoot guards are good, even the forwards are good. Not to mention the center. He must just have that all-around knowledge of each position. I want to know his best trait and where he played at.
He played in college. No, he went to college, but I don't know. Yes. He played basketball for 4 seasons at the academy in his senior year as team captain and leading scorer. So I have no idea
what his position was.
No.
Oh man. Oh man, I really want to know that. I got to know it. I really do.
From the way this look like, hang on. From the way this looks, just here, let me see if I can do this. Okay. I want to say, because they don't have any statistics on the behalf of him playing basketball. Yeah, so right. I'm just going to be just dead out honest in my best educated guess. My best educated guess would be if he did play a position, I want to say it's guard.
Totally what
He is. Well, that's something else I'm trying to find out. I have no idea. Oh, crap. If I could find this out, then maybe I can narrow it down just a tad.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to see what was his actual position. They don't be put nothing out here about this man.
I think Greg Popovich, I want to say he was a guard.
It looked like he was a guard. I can't really see. They don't have nothing. I'm like, man, that would have been nice if they had something in his position. It would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing that either.
All I can see is his when he was born, his age. They don't have nothing on his height. All I can say is that Tim Duncan is taller than him, so it's definitely lower than 6'10".
So he could have been a forward. He could have been a forward.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
But from what I've seen in a picture, it looked like he is the same height or close to. Matter of fact, here we go right here. He is close. How tall is Tony Parker? Find out how tall Tony Parker is.
Yep, stand by. Yeah.
You find out how tall Tony Parker is. He's probably the exact same height, maybe an inch or two taller.
And then that'll be our answer.
Huh?
That'll be our answer.
Yeah, because Kawhi Leonard's taller than Greg Popovich.
Ooh, yeah. So he could be anywhere from a shooting guard to a power forward.
Yeah, because Tim Duncan is.
Forward.
No, he's not a power forward. He's not a power forward because LeBron James is taller than him.
Taller than who?
LeBron James is taller than Greg Popovich.
Okay, Tony Parker is 6'2".
He probably around there. He like a guard. He has to be a guard.
How tall is Popovich? Did it say?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just the best educated guess. Because, like I said, he's Kawhi Leonard's taller than him. LeBron James is taller than him. He's Kobe Bryant's taller than him. Who else is taller than him?
Of course, Duncan. Wow. Yeah.
I think Phil Jackson is taller than him.
Yeah, Phil Jackson was a forward. So, yeah. Yeah, Phil Jackson was a forward, so he is taller than him. Oh, wow.
I'm going with 6'1", 6'2", if not 6 foot. That's where I'm going.
Then he'll probably be a guard then.
Yep, he's a guard. He's a guard. He's got to be a guard. That's where I can go with it.
Yeah, that's what I go to.
I am a big fan of Pops, so you know that to me means everything. He's taller than Chris Paul. Now that I think about it,
yeah, Chris Paul's 6 foot even. 6 foot.
Yeah, so he got to be 6'1", 6'2". I think he's taller than Chris Paul.
See, with him trying to get into San Antonio, he could bring that elite to San Antonio.
I mean, the thing is that I'm confused about. They have Tony Parker. Unless he's get ready to retire here within the next couple of years.
Tony Parker, you know what?
Or unless he's just injured too much.
Did you see how many? Never mind. I can look that up real quick. Tony Parker should be in his 17th season?
Something like that.
He should be in the 17th season in the NBA. Or get ready to be his 18th here coming up. Okay, he got drafted in 2001.
So he should be getting ready to hit it up by about his 15-16 season.
Yeah, he wants to play 20 years with the Spurs, so he ain't retiring no time soon.
Okay, so I wonder what's going to benefit. Maybe Tony Parker just want less playing time now because of injuries.
That could be it too. But at the same time, I mentioned it earlier, they're trying to trade Danny Green. He's a shooting guard. So Pops may see Chris Paul as more of a shooter than he is a point guard.
Maybe. Very true.
So if he could bring Chris Paul into the mix, and I don't understand it. Why are you trying to – Danny Green has brought a lot to the Spurs. I don't understand it. So why are you trying to pursue Chris Paul?
Maybe because they probably have disagreements on the behalf of how to play defense. You know how Pops is. Pops have his in particular way of playing defense and how to play on offense. You know how it is.
Or it could be the fact that he's trying to save a little money so he can sign Chris Paul.
Maybe.
There's a lot of ways that you can look at this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can look at this.
The matter of the fact is that if they are trying to get rid of Pau Gasol, they rather might go ahead and just bring Blake Griffin into the picture. But the problem is, I think it has a lot to do with years' experience in the NBA. Yeah. And I think Blake Griffin would not be able to fit into Pop's system.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think they're going to actually split at this point. And in my personal opinion, if I had to pick a team that could really use him, not necessarily want him, but could use him, the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, Dwight Howard just got shipped to Charlotte. So.
Ding, 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 ding. That's why I said Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's why I said Atlanta.
I mean, he's not as tall as Dwight Howard, but he'll bring something to the table.
He should bring some type of presence, if anything.
I agree. If he stays healthy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
That's big.
Chris Paul, Blake Griffin.
All right, Cam Newton. He wants to go back to the Super Bowl. Can he? Will he? Will the Panthers go back to the Super Bowl? We'll discuss that on the show. All right, Cam Newton. This was very interesting. I happened to see this, and one of the things that Cam Newton, he said, I'm missing something. So apparently, what that is that he is wanting to go back to the Super Bowl.
What player don't want to go back to the Super Bowl? Go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And in the mindset of as a team and as a player, that's what he wants. And now that he got his new look team, that's his next goal. Because he struggled all last year. You know, you take away the dabbing and all these excessive celebrations and all that stuff, you let your pride get away and take away the game.
He got clingy.
Bingo. That's exactly what he did.
He got clingy.
Too clingy. And now you go into 2016, you struggle. You struggle big time. Now that you couldn't even, as a contender for the Super Bowl, you didn't even get to the playoffs. And as a matter of fact, you finished under 500. That's bad. So, with that being said, Darren, do you believe that Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers got a shot this year going back to the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Same here.
Nope.
Same here. The closest that they probably get
is
the wild card.
Nope, 8-8.
I believe a wild card.
Nope, 8-8. They're gonna miss it. That's just my guess.
I think they're going to get to the wild card and get put out. That's the closest. They're not going back to the Super Bowl. They can't.
So you're saying they're a wild card team? Yes, that's
I'll put it like this.
You're saying they're going to the wild card?
Yeah, that's what. But here's what I was getting ready to say about that. They can be a wild card team, but the problem is that they're not going to bring their wild card team as an effort to this game, to the game, whoever they face. Because, for one, I believe that Cam Newton won't be the reason why that the Panthers goes to the wild card, I believe it'd be because of the draft picks that include Christian McCaffrey. And he brings so much strength, elite, and athleticism to the running game. That's how they got so powerful in the first place. When Cam Newton was running the football back in 2015, and I think it was Jonathan Stewart also running the football. So if Cam Newton went back to that aspect of running the football and Christian McCaffrey doing the same thing, they got a legitimate shot of getting one.
That I disagree. On the behalf of Christian McCaffrey, yes, but Cam Newton, no. Cam Newton can't run the football. He has to be able to stand tall in the pocket and be able to distribute the football from the pocket.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. That's why his struggles came in 2016.
But if you have somebody like Christian McCaffrey to come in and clean up half the mess that's already been made, why not? Give it a shot.
I agree. Yeah,
I don't want – the thing is that Cam Newton can be able to run the football when he needs to. He depended on it too much last year. Everybody anticipated it.
Yeah,
they can't anticipate him being able to stand in the pocket and be able to throw the ball. That's when another part of the game plan of play action. That's the whole other thing that could go into play for them.
Yeah, so now it looks like they're going to be doing a lot of spies on them again this season.
Almost
but
likely.
They're going to have, if Jonathan Stewart's still playing with them, they're still going to have them for Jonathan Stewart and Christian McCaffrey. So it's going to be very interesting now how the depth of running backs is going to be looking like.
Yeah, they're going to have to be. My interesting part is how Cam Newton's going to be able to stand tall in the pocket and be able to distribute the football from the pocket and not run it. That's going to be my biggest thing there. I believe that if Cam Newton could stand tall in the pocket, be able to distribute the ball, get that play action in there, get everybody biting off of that, and to be able to run the football, making them second guess, make a defense a second guess, they're going to be right back into the spot they were 2 years ago. But if Cam Newton continues to run the football without the help of Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Stewart, then they're out of luck. They're out of luck. And the way I'm seeing it now, I still believe that they are going to go back to that same game plan from last year and have Cam Newton run the football. That's why I believe they're going to go 8-8. We're 7-9.
Well, they can't. Well, yeah, and they can't do that. They can't.
No, they can't.
Well, that'd be to me. It'd be pointless if they did that. If they when they drafted Christian McCaffrey, it's pointless. You might as well not draft him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would like to see Cam Newton distribute the football more this year in the pocket.
Like he did in 2015.
I mean, even if he has to scrabble to throw the ball, that's fine.
Yeah, get out the pocket.
You can get away with that.
Something. Yeah.
Yes, you can get away with that. I would like to see him do that too. But what I don't want him to see is actually run the football. Because now you're talking about fatigue. And I think that's probably what kicked his butt last year too.
Well, and also the offensive line giving up too many sacks.
Yeah, because they were tired of holding on. That he needs to be able to get rid of that football quickly. Because now you're putting more – that's the thing. Now you're putting more pressure on the offensive lineman to be able to run far more than pass protect. Because now you have to run block protect versus pass protect. And that makes it hard on the offensive line to be able to use the adjustment between pass block and run block. And so now you're using run block the entire game. When you get to throwing the football, you have no idea the type of people that's coming at you to be able to get to Cam Newton. You don't know what to do.
And now that makes me think a lot about the coach now because they have the same woes and problems. And Andrew Luck is hurt now. And he had to have surgery on the shoulder back in January. Mm-hmm. And now he probably won't be ready for training camp. But see, now he's not the problem. To me, he's not going to be the problem. Andrew Luck is not going to be the problem. My question would be, will the offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts be ready by training camp?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would be my thing. Mm-hmm. And that would be the same way with Carolina. Are they ready?
Will they be ready? Yeah.
Will they be ready?
Will they be ready?
Because you can't take away that's your intake for the quarterback to be able to distribute the football is to protect it. So.
Yep.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cameron Newton. All right, final thoughts, dear. You got anything for us?
Of course not.
Yeah, you never do.
Nope.
You never do. Actually, I do. Before we actually get out of here, I wanted to discuss real quick the draft picks that the Pacers have picked. In round 1 of the draft, in the 18th pick, they had selected T.J. Leaf of UCLA, and the second round, the 47th pick, they picked Ike Agnebagu, I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure if his last name is right, but I apologize if it isn't. And it's pretty interesting there because you brought this up, and we talked about it on Twins Debate yesterday. More of a traditional type of basketball. It's something that you always believed in. And picking these two up, for one, they both came out of UCLA. And TJ Leaf is I think he's a power forward. Yeah, I think he's a power forward / center, or small forward / power forward. I can't remember which one it is. And Ike is a center, if I'm correct. And yeah, he's a forward center. Sorry, he's a forward center. And yeah, TJ Leaf is a forward, straight out. And it's interesting. People probably look at the stats and be like, well, don't you think that was a mistake drafting him? We always believe traditional. And see, that's the thing. We always believed in building draft picks. Mm-hmm. Now, you may see suckful numbers in college because they only probably played 1 year and probably 52, anywhere from 20 to 50 games. And you see the numbers, it's like, well, this is not good. How are you going to benefit from this? This is how you build your draft pick, and that's how you're patient. And you remember in the 80s, Donnie Walsh was very patient with the Pacers, when he drafted Rick Spitz and
Reggie Miller.
And he stayed with them.
Uh-huh.
And he stayed with them, and the fans had wanted to trade Rick Spitz or just get rid of him, period. But they came out to be elite players, not the all-around elite players, but they came a local elite because of the way that they played and how they got built up.
They were able to get to the NBA Finals in 2000. So
exactly.
That was the patience that it took. It took well over almost 10 years, not that.
And here's the funny part. When Bird was doing the drafts, you would see a lot of small men. You would see probably like a lot more smaller forwards that's probably 6'8", and way less than an average healthy forward and stuff like that.
Solomon Hill was one of them.
Yep, Solomon Hill was one. And with TJ Leaf, like I said, he's 6'10", 250. He
needed presence. Traditional basketball.
And all-around score.
Yep.
So that is going to be big for them. And then with Ike, he has size, athleticism, and wingspan. That is going to help Miles Turner.
Oh, yes. As long as he don't get rid of him, keep him, because he has been a contributor. Yeah. Miles Turner can shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. You need shooters. You need shooters.
And TJ Leaf, with him being a forward, you could bring that all-around shooter. That's what a small forward does. A small forward, power forward, they're all-around shooters. Mm-hmm. Dirk Nowitzki, prime example.
Yep.
Just had to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If there's nothing else, Darren, we go ahead and get up on out of here and enjoy the rest of that. All right, let's do it. All right, that ends our show, Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. If you like what you see, you get a video a thumbs up. How you feel about today's show, you comment in the comment section below, as usual. But, of course, you can always comment on Twitter, Facebook, and, whatever platform that we have. We also have our personal accounts on Twitter and Facebook. You just comment, just let us know what you think about the show. And also give our fan page a like. But until then, I'm Darren. Darren's on the opposite side.
Yep.
All right, catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao. Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Darren Watts. As many of you know, me and Darren enjoy talking sports and giving out stats, but we also enjoy entertaining while doing it. So with that being said, you can check us out on the social media side and get more involved in our podcast. We're on Twitter at DTST2414, or you like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. We're also on YouTube. Like, share, do what you got to do with that. Once again, we don't mind. Also, we are finally back on the podcast app for audio only purposes for those who enjoy audio only of our podcast. We're also on the blog, feature critical thinking and analysis, and you can check that out at doubleTakeSportsTalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.
It's fine. Yeah.
Alright, bro, I get it. Yeah, you fucking point forward and you got your back and forth move down pat. Just,
Word.
yeah. Ah,
My bad. Get out of here.
right on. supposed to go for you, Darren.
It's all good.
Bullshit. I'm supposed to go to Darren. This motherfucker was right there to get it right in front of it. Ooh, excuse me.
Damn. My bad. I shouldn't have passed it like that.
He read it.
Oh my goodness. They boxing me out real good.
Oh, come on. I'm done. You guys are cheating, man. I don't play y'all.
I wonder what they did.
I can't keep up with small forwards that are smaller than me, man.
I can't keep up with anybody smaller than me at that.
It's just aggravating. I mean, it really is special like that, man. For me and Darren, I'm like, it's just crucial. Cause I ain't even that tall. My dude's just 6'8", but any dude that's, even if the motherfucker's 6'7", they'll have just a small burst of speed